Hello, for anybody who doesn't know me, I'm Sean Hill with the WSU Ag WeatherNet program. I am the system analyst slash developer, part of the team that is responsible for the web pages, databases, and general all around computer services for our program. I think everybody should be familiar with kind of our home page, and that's what we're looking at here. And as Lav mentioned, I'm just going to go to this events site just so everybody has a look at it. And here's our next event. You'll notice this click for details option, which is where you can find the link and the option to add the events to your calendar. And again, thanks Akash for all your work on that. What I'm going to show is first off, everybody should know that in their profile settings, you can adjust your own email configuration. I've had a lot of people recently asking me to add them or remove them to the mailing list. You're more than welcome to go into your profile settings and do that right here. One of the first tool I want to highlight this month is the worker heat awareness page. It's available in the models section under human. It's called worker heat awareness. And what you see here is a general description of what the tool is. Heat illness is something that we're all needing to be aware of these days. And as workers come into the summer, we have this tool available to help estimate the risk level in the environment out there. And like most of the tools on our site, we can select which weather stations we're interested in and a date range. What you see here is the default of today plus a few days into the future so that it can be modeled. Uh, you can just click in here to select different dates if you're interested, and we also have these various quick dates that you could click on to change them without having to select yourself. So you can see I have several stations selected, Benton City East, Mount Vernon, Prosser, and Pullman, and each of them have taken this air temperature, plotted it against these risk areas, moderate, high, and extreme. Uh, and you can click through from each station and see up until right now, and then the future, what we uh, forecast the temperatures might be at that time. Now, as the temperature rises and it gets warmer outside, you might enter this moderate risk zone. And so we have resources down below for how to prevent the heat illness and other tools as well. Heat awareness toolkits from the PNASH Center, heat illness prevention. These all link out directly to some really good resources that workers and employers both should be able to have access to. A list of various workplace posters that you may need to have, and then one of the interesting things I think is the link directly to the Washington State heat rules that everybody should be aware of. And then, of course, our minor little disclaimer down here that these are estimates and we do our best to be accurate, but please be aware that they are predictions and forecasts in some cases. This tool is also available in a Spanish language version, so I just wanted to highlight that here. And all of these resources, again, are available in that Spanish language format. I have a habit of going quickly, so I'm just going to go slow, click to the next one. Air quality is another tool that's coming up, in the smoke season that we're all growing used to is going to be here sooner than we expect. And so the sensors that we've deployed are a combination of Visala and Purple Air sensors, and I think Bethany will give us a little more information about that. But we've outfitted a number of stations with these new sensors, and you can come in and again, I have the same set of stations selected. you can look at what is the current air quality at each of those stations. So you see these various color ranges around the dial here relate to these various levels of air quality and then a description. So green is what we all want to see, but as it progresses into the more hazardous ranges, the colors get more severe, and the people who may be affected are highlighted in here as well. This comes from the AirNow Gov website, um, and you'll see that the air quality index is made up of a number of components. The ozone, the particulate matter, carbon monoxide, and the nitrous oxide. Luckily, right now at all of our stations, we appear to be in the good range, but you'll notice that so the 5 is the actual index related to the particulate matter at 2.5 microns. That's the worst, right? The higher the number, the worse it is. So the real or the conglomerate air quality index is whatever is the worst. So you're looking at the worst case, and now everything's good. But you can see, we chart over time this information. So what we're looking at here is the air quality index and each of the components. And these are the ranges that they can go into. You can save these off if there's happens to be an event or print the chart for future work. We'll also be able to show the particulate matter values at that station on that period of time that we're interested in. You can highlight any of these charts to zoom in closer and find more information. And you'll see this particular station, I guess, has the purple air sensor as it has a few less sensors available. Again, additional resources available. This is a image from a fridge magnet, and if anybody needs one, we can hand a couple of those out. But it'll be available in both Spanish and English language. Uh, what should you do in poor air quality? What should you avoid? How can it impact your health? And again, additional resources linked off directly to the PNASH Center and Washington State L&I. Also, I love these links directly to the rules so that we can learn more about it on our own. And again, this particular tool is available in the Spanish language version, so I just want to highlight that. Everything's there. We're still working to finalize some of the translations with the help of our colleague. And I owe him a little bit of work on that side, but the majority of that's translated. For as far as animal and heat goes, we have looked at this briefly together before, but this is the Cattle Comfort Index. Same sort of stratified risk levels based on a conglomerate of variables go into this model, and we can look into the future and estimate. So we can see actually we're getting into the mild risk area already based on if we had a very low wind. So you see these two dotted lines are forecast, and the difference in them being the amount of wind. If we have minimal wind, then the heat is worse. Down below, we have details about what each of these stress levels might be for the cattle and any additional alerts or things that may be pushed out as pertinent based on the weather. Again, available in a Spanish language version. And then just briefly, I wanted to show we do have a fruit surface temperature model. And this is a work in progress, so probably not entirely ready for prime time, but in collaboration with the Ag AID Institute, they're working on a revised model. They do machine learning and high-tech AI types of analysis to give us a new model that should be ready, I believe Love said sometime this summer or maybe a little bit into the fall. So that's just for everybody's teaser, I guess. Now, those models that I showed are all available to be set up as an alert in our alert system. And what you're seeing here on this page is if you go into the My AWN and on the left-hand side find alerts, that's this page. I have these currently sorted by station. So you see the station name is right here, and then a list of alerts that I've created for each of these stations. Some people may prefer to see them sorted by alert type. So if we just switch it right here, we can see that all of these are my air quality alerts, my cattle comfort alerts, my worker heat awareness alert, and then I have the freeze temperature at Benton City as well. On this page, the way you would add a new alert is with this plus button up in the top right hand corner. And so I'm doing that here. First thing I'm going to do is give it a name. Say I want to do Prosser air quality. And each weather station, depending on the sensors that are installed there, can have different alerts. So we want to go ahead and pick our weather station. And then this list here will refresh with all of the ones available. Say I want that air quality index. And then you notice this threshold type right here. So those stratified categories that we looked at are right here. If I want to know anytime that the air quality is deemed a moderate risk, I can select that right here. If I prefer English or metric units, we can change that there. I want to be notified every time that the value goes into that moderate range, or I only want to be notified the first time in a day when the value reaches into that range. I'm going to choose always because I don't mind a lot of alerts. Do I prefer to receive it by email or a text message right here? Let's stick with the email so it automatically fills in my email. And again, it's Prosser air quality and moderate. If I hit add, you'll notice that here's the alert I just set up. Now, each one of these sections has the ability to search. So if you had a very large number of alerts, you might search by just Prosser to see the ones that are for Prosser. Or if I was mostly interested in the moderate level, well, it looks like I have moderate in the name over here, so it appears. But it shows the search works, I guess. Say I want to know the ones that are hazardous, right? This drop-down list here lets you choose how many per page. So you see the number 1 in the square, that means page 1 of my alerts. If I had more than 10, I would have a page 2. This little configuration button here allows you to choose what columns you want to see are visible. So if I'm not worried about the station name, I can get it off the list. Or if I don't care if I know they're all email, I can take it off the list and work that way. If you'd like to temporarily pause an alert so it stops messaging you, this pause button right here will do it, and you can be notified that the alert's updated right here, and the button changes to the play button. If you'd like to edit your configuration for the alert, you can just come in here, make your changes, and hit add or update. And then, of course, if you like to delete your alert, that's what the trash can here is. So that's air quality, and likewise, you can do the same. I'm going to do it really quickly just so you can see work. I'm going to call it WHA. That is available at the 100 Circle station. So I want to be notified when worker health or heat awareness risk level is extreme. Just go right in there. And this one, let's do it as a text message. I put my phone number in there. And then next time that threshold's reached, it will send me the text message that you see down here. If I want to pause it, I can. I want to edit it, I can. I decided I really am interested in high risk. add an update. So that was my quick run through of that. If you want to hold any questions till our open period at the end, that's probably appropriate. And I think I hand it off to Bethany next. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. And as Bethany shares her screen, if you have any question for Sean, just type in Q&A and we try to answer this, yeah, live or yeah, offline as well. So yeah. Okay, Bethany, you are on. Looks like, can you make a full, yeah, okay.
That full screen, everybody see that?
Yep, great.
All right, perfect. Well, hello, my name is Bethany Safe, and I am a field technician for AgWeatherNet based out of the Research and Extension Center in Mount Vernon. Just to give a little bit of a background on the scope of our network, we currently have 357 stations. Of those, 128 consist of our Tier 1 network, and 48 of those are our Mesonet towers. We are in the process of building up this part of our network, and we're hoping to have 60 stations by the end of 2024. 100 stations are planned for this network's completion. Along with that, we have 97 Tier 2s and 132 Tier 3s or private stations, which is what we talked about in our previous Weather with AgWeatherNet session. So when it comes to air quality, remote sensing and remote sensor technology is still very new. It can be very expensive to produce accurate and precise measurements, and even with the technology we have now, it is still very difficult to replace air quality labs. Our pilot air quality program is primarily funded by the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, and we're always looking for additional grant opportunities to help supplement this as well. Within our network, we are utilizing two different types of air quality sensors. The first being the Vaisala AQT 530, which is priced around $5,200, and that's also the one that is shown in the picture right here. We currently have 22 of these sensors installed around the state, and they collect data for particulate matter 1, 2.5, and 10, as well as carbon monoxide, ozone, nitrogen monoxide, and nitrogen dioxide. The second sensor we're using is the Purple Air Classic sensor, which is valued around $300, and we currently have 13 of these installed around the state. They only collect PM 2.5 and 10, and we also had to modify these sensors with a cable so we could connect them to our data loggers and we don't have to go through the Purple Air server. You may be wondering why we have two different sensors. And long story short, we are trying to provide research grade data, so we need a research grade sensor. The Vaisala sensor, while providing more data and better quality data, is more expensive. The Purple Air sensor is a more affordable option and is a sensor lots of conservation districts and schools are using around the state. It also allows us to put more air quality sensors out, fulfilling our grant requirements from L&I. However, they do only provide two of the variables the Vaisala sensor provides, so they don't quite meet that research grade we strive for from our Mesonet stations. With the installation of these air quality sensors, we are having to upgrade our power stations, specifically with the Vaisala AQT 530. These sensors, all of the sensors, including the Purple Air ones, have an immense power draw, but specifically with the Vaisala sensor, we wouldn't be able to support them on our previous power station design. Since most of our towers were built before we decided to install AQ sensors, a majority of their power stations were built with this old style. I have a picture of this old style right down here on the left. It just has that single solar panel. On the right, we have a picture of our new power station, which has the two solar panels and increases the power capacity. So we are having to go back to these towers and revamp the power stations. This usually takes place over the course of 2 days. The first day we come in and we remove the old solar panel and battery box and we place it on the ground a little ways away. We then have to remove the old power mast and we have to expand the hole that it was placed in. So once we have the hole dug out to our specifications, we fill it with concrete and put in a more robust power mast. And we have to wait overnight for the cement to cure. Once it's dry and we're able to walk around on it, we come back, cover that with dirt, put the solar panels, mount them on the mast, install the battery box along with all the batteries, and connect all of the batteries together to send power to the station. We can then install our air quality sensor on the station. And once it's installed, there is a 24-hour burn-in period before data is accurate. So quality data isn't really available until the next day. For sampling, our Vizsla sensors take a sample every 5 minutes, whereas the purple air sensors sample every 15 minutes. The data is then sent to our server via cellular network and made available to the public through our website or API. Once again, with the purple air sensors, the data we collect does not go to the company server, so you won't be able to find it on the purple air site. So as Sean showed, here's an example of what the data may look like once it's up on our site. This one is for a Vizsla sensor. So as you can see from all the dials, everything's green, everything's good. There's no air quality health advisories on this particular day. I also have an example from a purple air sensor. As you can see, right down here, only 2 of these dials are actually being utilized, and that's the PM 2.5 and PM 10. So with fire season, you will see this data change. They change color based on the pollutant density, and each color coincides with a different health alert. So once again, these are the handy little magnets that we have in both English and Spanish that go into more detail about those different colors, what they mean, and what you should do if the air quality becomes hazardous in your area. I believe next we have some folks from the University of Washington to talk about this more in depth. So I'll hand it over to them.
Yeah, thank you, Bethany. Yeah, so next we'll have Dennis. We'll talk about the air quality index resources. Dennis, if you can share your screen. Pablo, we are seeing the screen with
Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah, the browser. Okay, there.
Oh, there you go. Sorry. Yeah. First, I'm gonna go first, and then Denise. That's okay, love?
Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, Pablo is going to talk about the heat stress resources, right? So yeah, okay, go on. Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I think I'm gonna have. Sorry. Give me 1 second. This computer. Let me see if the slideshow is my show in the.
Can you go full screen on that? Yeah, presentation.
Yeah. There you go. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Can you see my screen?
Yep. All good.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Thank you for the invitation. We are from Pinash, Denise and I, and we were invited to talk about resources, about heat related illness prevention and wildfire smoke. So Denise and I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about first, and then Denise is gonna finish. So just a little bit about us. We are from the Pacific Northwest Agricultural Safety and Health Center, for short, PNASH. Probably if you don't know us, that's what we are. PNASH is one of the 11 U.S. agricultural safety and health centers in the country, and it's located in Washington State, as you can see in the map. And we have partners, working for what we do in Washington, Idaho, Alaska, and Oregon. So PNASH partners with workers, employers, communities to promote safe workplaces and provide evidence-based safety solutions. So basically, that's quickly is what we are, and all this in the farming, fishing, and forestry sectors. So anyway, Sean was talking about the alert system. In the case of heat, I'm going to be talking about heat resources. Once you have in a WeatherNet all your stations, you program your alert system about how you want to receive your alerts in terms of heat. Once you get that threshold, even moderate, high, or extreme risk that you have in your stations, every time you get that at that temperature, you're gonna get the messages, and then a little, some recommendations about what to do, depending of the risk. I'm not gonna go into detail, but this is what you might receive, or you could receive. For example, if you have extreme breeze, to get notification when the heat is in extreme breeze, you might get these messages about avoid heavy tasks during hottest hours, schedule additional shaded rest breaks, remind workers to drink water, restore water frequently, and observe and communicate frequently, and use a body system. So yeah, that's, for example, about when the heat is in extreme breeze. I just wanted to quickly show that this is what you will receive when you have in those alert systems, and what you have in your own AWN stations. So as Sean was mentioning, in the AWN here, we provided to AWN resources for heat-related illness prevention. All of them, as you can see it, have a link to those resources. And as he was saying, it's in English and Spanish. And I'm just gonna show you, because I don't want to link directly here. I'm just gonna show you in a few slides what you will find when you click into these resources. So you go directly to the PNASH website and go to the heat illness prevention. This is the page, the web page that you will see, and it's available in Spanish and English. It tells you information, a little bit of information about heat illness prevention, and also directly to some resources that are great about heat. It has links to the Washington State rule, and as you see right there, a link to the Washington State Department of Labor and Industries, where you can find resources and information related to heat. Also to the federal OSHA website and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention website, where you can also find very great information and resources about heat. Washington is not the only one that has regulation about heat. There are other states in the United States, including Oregon and California. And right there in the PNASH website, you can find links directly to those websites in California and Oregon. And also, right there in this PNASH webpage, you see resources developed by the center. You can see right in your right, videos and other information, including what we call the Heat Illness Toolkit, that it was developed by PNASH through June Inspector, who is not working with PNASH anymore. I think she's working with the Department of Labor Industry now. But this toolkit was developed in one of her projects, and it has information. It has a train-the-trainer guide that, that's a cover. You can see that to the right. It's a manual, and it has heat posters, real case studies, and checklists. All of this in relation to heat-related illness prevention. This is a great tool. It's available in Spanish and English. You can download it directly. You go and visit the PNASH website, the PNASH website. It has posters. It's part of the kit. All these great posters that are right here, you will find them in this kit related to symptoms and treatment for heat, risk factors, clothing, hydration at work, PPE and heat. That's a great poster, I think. Keeping cool at home, and other posters, including best practices. For example, this is the poster about best practices for heat. It's only two pages tool that talks about tips, strategies, and best practices to heat-related to prevent heat illness in agriculture. Shows very good advices, including resources where people can go and check for more information. All of these in only two pages. And again, it's available in Spanish and English. Another one, for example, is this one. Stay hydrated at work. Posters that are simple, to the point, colorful, that, kind of gets to attention when you see and hanging in your walls and in your shop, that you can use in your training, Spanish and English. And this is the one about PPE and heat, also available in Spanish, English. And also, as Sean was saying in the internet, there is also links directly related to the Washington State heat rule that you can just click on it and just go straight to the web page and check it out. Some of the links that you will see in this AWN heat section is the Be Heat Smart webpage. That is a great resource from LNI that has the Washington Outdoor Heat Requirements, and the Accident Prevention Program template, online training, and additional educational resources. As you can see this in this slide. And part of that, though, this Be Heat Smart page I think it's a great fact sheet, about permanent changes to outdoor heat exposure rules. It's only a 2 pages fact sheet that tells you about the changes, about the permanent changes about the rule, that includes information about temperature action levels, shade, acclimatization, and mandatory cool down rest periods that are now part of the heat rule that was updated last year. So again, as Sean was saying, these are the links that you would see in our net right there. Just click on it if you want to, and just look for this, I think, wonderful, great sources of information about heat. And with that, I am going to let Denise to talk about wildfire smoke. Let me stop sharing. And go ahead, Denise.
Oh, Pablo, can you share? Can you
Oh,
share your
absolutely.
screen, Pablo?
Oh, absolutely. You have problems connecting. Sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. My
There you
name
go.
is Denise. My name is Denise Drury, and I'm the Outreach and Education Specialist also at the Panache Center with Pablo. And we're excited about working with AWN to share resources. First and foremost, we want to direct you to the Department of Labor and Industry, who has not only the rules, but great tools for employers, like including sample APP, some online training, and additional resources that you can use for safety programming in the workplace. So that's the best source to go for information. Next slide, please.
Yeah, give me one second. There you go.
We did want to mention that, beginning February 7th, the EPA began updating their air quality index for fine particulate matter. So they're going to change the numbers in this scale, which is going to affect the rule. We put this table in here so you can see how the scales are changing. Some of the cutoff points are different slightly, which changes the color. Like if before it might have shown good, it might show moderate. So we put that in here so you can see. You can also find more on EPA's website, but this is going to affect the rule. And so we'll share a resource with you so you can see the new action levels. The action levels are actually already published on LNI's website, for wildfire smoke, the link we just shared with you all right now. But they will be undergoing a more in-depth process to update the rule. And just to let you know, the level of PM 2.5 exposure is not changing. It's just the scale. Like it's just the number associated with the amount of PM 2.5 in the air. But they're not changing the amount of particulate matter at which they have to take action. I hope that makes sense. Next slide, please, Pablo. We also wanted to share with you resources from our webpage. We have checklists for employers that correspond to the rule, which we will also be updating so you can use to make sure that your plans and your planning and your preparedness for wildfire smoke season is in line. We also have regional resources similar to heat, like Pablo shared, like from California or from Oregon, that are great for education or training, and also other sources to check for air quality as well. Next slide, please. So this is a resource that was shared previously by the WSU team. And so this one was created specifically to give general guidance on recommended actions for people based on their air quality in their area. And it also calls out, who's sensitive to wildfire smoke. We recently revised this resource. So on the top here, you can see that we have the recommended action levels for employers with the new scale, the new AQI scale that was just released by LNI. But we also have recommendations for actions that people should take outside of work, at home, and also information bringing more awareness on the health effects of wildfire smoke, and information so folks know when it's appropriate to seek medical attention, and links to more resources. Thank you, Pablo. Next slide. We also wanted to promote with you that we have training resources for heat and sexual harassment that are, comprehensive toolkits with training posters and a bunch of resources. And we have a print and ship program, so you can order a copy for free. So please contact us or visit the QR code if you would like more information. And we also wanted to share, we have a lot of other resources on our website for, heat-related illness, sexual harassment, pesticide safety, and others. So we invite you to visit our website if you're interested in other safety resources.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, yeah, thanks. If you have any questions, we are right here. I'm going to stop sharing. There you go.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Pablo. Yeah, so we have, I think, about 15-16 minutes. If anyone has a question for any of the 4 presenters, actually, or if you have any feedback for our team on the portal, on the hardware side of things, yeah. Okay, looks like everything is clear to everyone. Cool. Yeah, and there's something popping up there. So Liam has a question. How many people use the worker safety alerts? Sean, you want to comment on this?
Sure. I don't have a current number of alerts that have been configured. The alert system for worker heat awareness is new this season. But as far as activity on that particular page goes, I believe we're in the 3,000 to 5,000 views range on that particular tool so far. So we do encourage you to set up an alert, let us know how it works for you and how we may be able to improve it in future development cycles.
Yeah. Cool. And then because we have revamped the alert system, right? Again, you can reach out to Sean. He can help you configure if you need some help there. Yeah. Any other question? Meantime, Sean, you might want to show again the event page and our next event scenario for May.
Sure, one moment. I think everyone can see we have the May event on the 30th with the details to be our guest speaker, Troy Peters, PhD, and we'll show some of the tools on our webpage related to water use, evapotranspiration, irrigation scheduling, and likewise how to get alerts when your field or block might need additional water or attention. Please do note you can add these to your calendar directly, and the Zoom links here. If you do have suggestions for future topics of discussion, I think we appreciate that feedback. And we always like to highlight this feedback section where you can go to let us know more about yourself and how you might prefer our resources be presented. So thank you.
Sean, before you close down, it looked like there was a question in chat from Mona asking about stations having a code. I'm
The
not
key
sure.
code. Yes, so let me see if I can bring up the question. The short answer is we would prefer to migrate away from any private data stations. When we initially started the Tier 3 program, we were allowing users to select whether or not the data would be publicly visible. And we find that it does not align well with our vision and mission here to have that private data. So there is kind of the grandfathered in private data stations, which need a key code to be able to access. Some of the stations have a code. Maybe that's a different question. Mona, are you talking about, let me share screen again. You may be talking about these stations that you see like C112 or could,
Or
Yes, yes.
yeah, those are just the station names, and they are these C stations are set because they're cattle feeders association stations directly with a specific naming convention. But if you ever are interested in the station metadata, under about station metadata, and then this network details link can bring you in to this page, which
Okay.
will show you all of the stations, who the station sponsor might be. Since I'm an administrator, you see full detail of the positions, so maybe we have to edit that out of our little video here. Normally, we round to 2 digits of precision to provide some privacy for the station landowner and prevent malicious activity at the weather stations. But those can, if you come to this network details page, you can see what sensors are installed and other information like installation date and tierings like that. So hopefully that's close to what you were asking.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think there is another question on the Davis. Let me see, this is about Airlink integration. I would say, yeah, Sean, you want to answer this? I can start maybe.
To the air quality system, that's not something that I'm aware of, and maybe John is on the meeting as well. He may have some comment there. But my general understanding is that if we can find a quality source of data, that it may be, I'm going to say may be possible to integrate. And maybe
Yeah.
I point back
I
to
would
what
say for our network, I think we'll continue with Vessel. Vessel are the AQT sensor that is 5,000 plus, and maybe Purple Air. We really need to test how the Davis sensor is actually, then go from there, I would say, right? But if it's a private network, a private station, and if you have this sensor, we'll be happy to pull that data, I guess, right, to some extent. But not in our network as tier 1 or tier 2, I would say, yeah.
at this time, we do not have an option for a tier 3 air quality deployment, but I could see it as a future possibility.
Yeah, good question there. Let me see if there's another question in the chat. I think we're good. Okay, any burning question before we close then? If not, thanks again for joining this month's Weather with Ag Weather Network. Yeah, do dial in next month as we talk about irrigation and how we can you can use the weather data for some of those scenarios. Yeah, thanks again, and we'll just have this recording edited and posted on our web portal as well. So yeah, stay tuned on that one. Thank you.